In today's video, we see lots of things throughout DC while being entertained by our step-on guide. Some of the highlights were getting to tour the Capitol building, the U.S. Air Force Memorial, Union Station, Ford Theater, and the Peterson House, U.S. Marine Corp, Jima Memorial, Washington Cathedral, Lincoln Memorial and the Reflecting Pool, and the Vietnam Memorial. There were about 14 hours worth of activities in this day. Now on to the video. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are heading to breakfast. It's day 3 of our DC trip. Good morning, Mommy.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
So we are staying at the Courtyard by Marriott. We have 2 more nights here before we start heading back home. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How's everybody doing today?
Good morning.
Hello.
The silverware is...
Where do you want to sit now? So we've got eggs, bagels, and croissants, pastries, and some fruit. Good morning.
Getting so cheerful. It's too early.
I'm trying to put myself in a good mood.
That's good, yes.
Bye, enjoy your day. Buddy, before the fun begins. There's a nice courtyard, but I don't know how to access it. The doors are locked. I don't know. I think I found a door that's unlocked. Let's hope I can get back in. Very nice. Let's go get some steps in. Very, very nice. I think they've got a place to have a fire. I think fire pit is the word I was looking for. So it looks like the rooms that are facing the courtyard actually have chairs on their balconies. I'm jealous. Oh well, it's not like we're going to be here at the room for very long. Very nice curb appeal. This is what you see when you first get out of your vehicle. There comes our bus. The bus is pulling up as we speak. Good morning. Fat and sassy.
I understand that. Totally.
Miss Nona, you are not fat and you're not sassy. They've got a beautiful lobby. Hello. Mobile dining. I think they've got a bar in here also. And over there's snacks. So tonight maybe I need to come visit you guys over at the bar so I can get some footage of the real party animals.
Till late, so
That might have to be tomorrow night.
if you're looking for us, that's where you'll find us.
Time to board. Let's watch Tina's wheelchair. That is so cool.
Look at your
I don't know if you can see it through the trees. There, it might be coming in better now.
right there.
But our window's dirty and there's a glare. but I tried. Look at this. Wonder what's going on here. Oh, it looks like a big tractor trailer, maybe. Yeah. It took out one of the toll booths. I don't know what happened. Oh, that looks bad. That looks real bad. Remember that time we were coming into Atlanta and Beretta woke up and he goes, New York City? So, some kind of stadium coming up to our right. I think it might have said Budweiser. Okay, maybe it's not a stadium. There's Macy's. Looks like the Bradford pears are in full bloom, but we want to see cherry blossoms. I don't know what it is. It looks like some kind of fruit.
Blossoms. I forgot about that. There it is, the Pentagon, ladies and gentlemen.
That's
now you see this area here.
Ooh.
All of this area around this memorial is going to be absorbed into Arlington National Cemetery. It will extend the life of the cemetery, they say, another 100 years.
You got it better.
well, I had seen it when we came through. Ronald Reagan National Airport. Washington Monument and the Pentagon out in the distance. There's a plane coming in for a landing. This gives you an eerie feeling of what 9/11 might have been like. The change in coloration is where they did the restorations after 9/11. This at one time was the largest office building in the world. Built in 1943. You say it's sculpture good from here. Corporate offices of Boeing aircraft. There's the Boeing. Wow, look at the traffic over there.
This is the Potomac River, ladies and gentlemen. We're crossing now from Virginia into D.C. Potomac River. On the driver's side, you'll see the plane coming in to Ronald Reagan Airport.
Oh, that's cool.
Driver's side now, the Jefferson Memorial, folks. There it is, the Thomas Jefferson Memorial. Hopefully we'll get a chance to come by there a little later. Maybe the roads are open.
Ooh, this is pretty. This is the wharf area. Look at all the boats and yachts. The tour guide said this is where the wealthy hang out.
Tour guide can't have a yacht?
Emergency.
That's like that old Eddie Murphy. Right in this lane right here. Stay right in this lane right here. Back of the Rayburn office building. That's what that is. That's where you come to see your representative. You don't meet them in the actual Capitol building. You meet them in their offices. And that is the Rayburn office building.
Oh, that's the botanical gardens. And you can see the dome from the Capitol building from here. That's so cool. Oh, there's an even better view of the dome for the Capitol building. I think we're going to get to tour that later.
They do have AKs in those cars.
Plants this way. United States Botanical Gardens.
Is the Smithsonian Museum of the American Indian, dedicated in 2006. One of the things you'll notice about this building, look at it, it has no right angles. There's no corners on it. That's in keeping with some Native American traditions and religious beliefs that those kind of corners conceal evil spirits.
Ooh, that's pretty.
First by John Adams in 1800. U.S. Capitol, second
Look at all the detail and the ornate artwork. I can just imagine how much work went into building all this. That is so cool. The Yoshino cherry is blossoming.
When we talk about the Capitol, we don't say the back and the front. We say the east and the west.
This is where the Senate.
Washington, D.C. is not a state. It does not have voting rights in Congress, and it was chosen to be a neutral site for the federal government. I guess we're all getting some steps in today.
How beautiful.
Japanese maple.
Are little, yeah, and red leaves.
And is that one a magnolia?
Now see, that's a smell.
Washington was considered a southern state because it was below the Mason-Dixon line. Wow. Washington did have slavery, but they released their slaves 9 months prior to the Emancipation Proclamation. United States Capitol. It looks like we're going to get to go into the Capitol building. We just went down an elevator, and I guess this is where the line starts. Miss Bobby, what kind of tree do you think that yellow tree is?
Oh, no, you can't. No, they won't let you.
Or yellow bloomed tree.
High capacity.
We will be having to go through security in a few minutes, and they advised us not to bring much of anything, especially backpacks. Bathrooms are down that way, and I heard there's 12 stalls for the women. Helen Keller. United States Capitol Visitor Center. Look at you lucky ones on the front row.
It's for Adam Mini 1. It's about 13 minutes long. After that, you're going to begin the walking portion of your...
So we're about to start the walking tour, and they gave us little headsets to wear so we can hear them talk. It's got the little volume thingy here. Thank you. I'm sorry I'm not getting great footage through here. We're having to move pretty fast and I'm just trying to get what I can. The same exact route for this year's inauguration. Heading into the rotunda. Wow. Look at all that detail.
Do our best to be on statues. And we are the ones that say that person's passed away. Now I told you, we get a lot of school groups in here. We always talk about lots of school groups from Tennessee. That's not a great statue. But she still, we can have a statue. Yeah, I would like to keep Dolly alive for as long as we can. I'm in no hurry to get a Dolly Parton statue. But I think she'd make a great one. Now, our other Tennessee statue right over here. Sideways hat, standing tall, on severe general during the Revolutionary War. Governor, the first governor of Tennessee. And one thing I think is really interesting about this statue, it lists accomplishments. It's general, governor of Tennessee, governor of the state of Franklin. Yeah. We don't have a state of Franklin. It's a state that they tried to form out of the eastern part of Tennessee that never got statehood. They incorporate that into the statue. Let's go this way a little bit. Belong to the states. Amelia Earhart from Kansas.
House of Representatives Chamber. Rosa Parks. They do have elevators for those that have walking issues. Well, I guess this concludes our tour of the Capitol building. Very much. And yourself?
Very much so.
Jason, don't let me get lost. Oh, wow. Oh, they're so beautiful. Oh, is it a fountain?
That's a little bit of one, but there's something. Water, it's some kind of a spring of some sort.
Note to Wayne, it looks like they allow bikes and e-bikes. We're heading to lunch, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and eat. I've got me some ribeye. Mom's got the rest of her burger. Bell Tower.
What is it? Grand Central Station in New York.
Union Station. Union Station Food Court. Guys, did y'all enjoy your meal?
Yes. Yeah.
So we had Wendy's.
Yeah.
Now onto the escalator. Wow, look at the ceiling. That's quite interesting. Food court. Amtrak ticket station. Down the bathroom. Amtrak.
Call for Amtrak bus and train number 20 en route to New York Penn Station.
The American Legion Freedom Bell is a replica of the original Liberty Bell, which is housed in Philadelphia. The bell was a gift from the American Legion to the nation's youth to commemorate the 200th anniversary of American independence. The bell was installed at Union Station in 1981. Christopher Columbus. The Columbus Fountain, also known as the Columbus Memorial, was unveiled in 1912 and was celebrated all over Washington, D.C. over the course of 3 days with parades, concerts, and fireworks. Okay, back to the bus. I'm probably the only one not on there. This bell is twice the size of the original.
Ford's Theater actually is an active theater. So if they have some event going on, then no. If they don't, there's a good possibility that we can poke our head in there. There's only one historical figure who's been written about more than Abraham Lincoln. Who, anyone know who it is? You know who it is.
Jesus.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, there you go. You understand?
Folks, also on the passenger side, see, it says Postal Museum. That's a Smithsonian museum. A very, very rare stamp. In fact, the rarest stamp in the world, the inverted Jenny, an amp that was printed wrong. And after about 25 of them, they found out, oh, we're printing this wrong. Apparently, this is one of the most sought after stamps in the world. Oh, it's worth like $1.4 million. Also in there is John Lennon, the Beatles, the former Beatle. His personal stamp collection is in there as well. Sharing with you this office
Fox News,
space
NBC
on the
News.
very corner of this building, from below on the second floor all the way to the top. Those are all television studios. They all want that shot of the dome in their morning newscast. You see.
Pretty. Look at the blooms.
See the trees up on top of the building?
Oh yeah.
Slow down. This is the E. Barrett Pettyman Courthouse. This is where the Watergate trials took place. That's also where President Trump was indicted a couple of months ago.
Oh, look at that
Yeah,
building.
Federal Trade Commission. Federal Trade Commission. You see him reeling in the horse? It's to represent the power of the government reeling in laissez-faire capitalism so that it doesn't run away. Folks, on the top floor was the offices of Matthew Brady, who was the famous Civil War photographer. In this building on the top floor, President Abraham Lincoln sat for the photograph that became the image on the $5 bill and the U.S. penny. We're gonna make it.
This is where the National Archives are located. The Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, Bill of Rights, Emancipation Proclamation, Louisiana Purchase, and the Magna Carta are all in this area. At one time, this was a very dangerous part of D.C. It used to be known as Center Market.
They do let you take pictures now. You could not, yeah, because it's fading.
Woo, that's a tight turn. Way to go, John. He's letting his dog pee on those flowers. I believe this Asian-looking building is where the Mary Surratt boarding house was located, and I think that's where the conspirators organized the plot to kidnap and assassinate Abraham Lincoln. Mary Surratt was the first lady ever put to death, and it was because of her part in the plot to assassinate Abraham Lincoln. The Peterson House was a boarding home across the street from the Ford Theater where Abraham Lincoln had gotten shot. On the night of April the 14th, 1865, one renter at the Peterson House heard a commotion outside. He walked to the front steps of the house to investigate, and he saw a large crowd in the middle of the street. He saw a group of soldiers carrying Abraham Lincoln. He quickly waved and called for them to bring him inside. The soldiers took him and carried the president into the Peterson House. Over there's the Ford's Theater.
Yeah, can't get it.
So I guess they carried him up these steps. Abraham Lincoln was taken to a small bedroom at the back of the first floor. The soldiers and doctors had to lay him diagonally across the bed because his 6'4" frame was too tall for it.
Walking in through the parlor, and then what they did was the soldiers, because this was an active boarding house, and the soldiers brought Lincoln down the hallway here and then down to the right and in this bedroom back here, and that's basically where he spent his remaining hours.
Lincoln spent 9 hours clinging to life, unconscious but still breathing. At 7:22 a.m. on April the 15th, 1865, he died at the age of 56. Lincoln's body remained in the room until later that morning when a pine coffin arrived to transport the president's remains back to the White House. After the body's removal, 2 of the residents in the upper room in the boarding home were allowed to take pictures. That is the only known images inside the Peterson House in 1865. This feels like you're outside.
It wouldn't have been as bad. By assassinating him, you made it worse on
The last image of Lincoln. This is a replica of his casket and the flag. Diary of an Assassin.
Me and Jason was the deal.
So all these books were written about Lincoln. Jesus is the only one that had more books written about him. And it just keeps going and going and going. Do not touch book tower. Look at the Lincoln House shoes.
House shoes.
The top shelf. The house where Lincoln died.
This is McPherson Square. McPherson was a Civil War general. Folks, most of these equestrian markers were erected after the Civil War, and they almost are always some Union general.
That equestrian marker is Andrew Jackson. The flowers are starting to come up.
Here,
Arlington. That looked like a nice trail. So we have arrived at Mount Vernon Inn restaurant. Hey everybody! Cherry pie for dessert. You kind of feel like you're having to go to the dungeon to go to the bathroom, don't you?
And you do it so well.
I think they had a wedding here, or at least a reception. Don't know what that room's for. Time to get back on the bus. They've got a very nice looking trail going along the water side. Lucia Lake.
With the Potomac River. On the other side of the river is the state of Maryland. That's Maryland on the other side.
I need to tell Wayne that I found us a bike trail.
This is the George Washington Memorial Parkway. It's about 15 miles between Mount Vernon and Washington, D.C. It's going to take us through Old Town, Alexandria, Virginia, where General Washington would have had to go to town and get provisions and then go to the tavern or whatever. And on our way into Washington, we're going to immediately pass on the passenger side of Ronald
Looks
Reagan
like a fort.
Washington National Airport.
You through with it?
Historic Black American cemetery, dates back to the 18th century, from Alexandria, Virginia. This is Old Town Alexandria now. As you can see, this cemetery was founded in 1795.
I wonder if these were slave quarters.
So much history all over the place, it really is. Right down the road is Manassas, Virginia, where the Battle of Bull Run was fought.
Those are dark.
Airport tower, I think. Do you think they're getting ready for a sunset, maybe? And some of them even seem a bit romantic. I probably didn't get it. I think it's an old railroad track. Is that the Capitol and the National Monument? Oh wow, look at the weeping willow trees. Oh, that's beautiful. I would absolutely love to bike down through here. Look at the bridge. I wonder if they allow people to kayak over there. Well, I think I see someone on a kayak, so I guess that answers my question. Boy, I could come and play for a month. Look at all the daffodils, aka buttercups to us. I know they're not actually buttercups, but that's what I knew them as a child.
Look at all the geese.
Oh, geese and buttercups. Wow. Marianne, are you looking? Sorry. I just didn't want you to miss it. Did he say that was the Kennedy Center?
United States Marine Corp Memorial, also known as the statue of Iwo Jima.
The Marine Corps War Memorial, also known as the Iwo Jima Memorial, depicts 6 Marines raising the American flag on Mount Suribachi during the Battle of Iwo Jima. The memorial is a tribute to the U.S. Marine Corps and their sacrifices, and it is based on the iconic photograph taken by Joe Rosenthal. The bronze statue was created by sculptor Felix W. De Weldon, who collaborated with 3 surviving Marines to model their faces in the sculpture. It was dedicated in 1954 with the inscription, "Uncommon valor was a common virtue." I wish that I had caught that plane as it was going over. It had the reflection in the glass. Oh. I'm not sure if I got the effect that time. Looks like that's emitting purple light. How much are you going to charge me for your service?
A lot.
A lifetime of love and friendship.
Folks, let me share something with you. On the driver's side, you see where those lights are? Those lights near the... Get some brunch.
Beautiful daffodils. Is that what your mom used to call eggs and...
Bacon, eggs.
Or eggs and saucer?
Very with them, I should
It
say.
was butter and
Very,
eggs, I
very with
believe.
them.
Those interesting windows.
No, this is top.
I bet that's the cathedral.
Walk right behind it real quick. Yeah, just pull up right behind it. Can it? Or you get behind when you stick it out? Folks, let's jump out.
Yes,
2 minutes, get a picture, and jump right
The
back.
construction of the Washington National Cathedral took exactly 83 years, from 1907 to 1990. The foundation stone was laid in 1907 by President Theodore Roosevelt, and the final stone was placed in 1990 during the presidency of George W. Bush. It is the second largest church building in the United States and the 3rd tallest building in Washington, D.C. Oh, I thought you said we... Wow.
It's something to see. If you can see it. What a bell now. That looks like Notre Dame.
Absolutely gorgeous.
Trade to see.
Because his father was in... Al Gore grew up in a hotel down in Dupont Circle. That's where he grew up.
Yeah.
Master Clock.
I do not.
It's going to hit you on the head.
Oh.
Bless you.
Is that it?
Oh yeah, I see it now.
Now I see
Is
it.
that it?
All right, now folks, flagged in. Okay. On the ground.
Right there.
Also, go kind of slow. On the passenger side, you're going to see a sculpture of Winston Churchill.
Hey, yeah.
Come and get the view, and then right across the street at the South African Embassy, you'll see a sculpture of Nelson Mandela. All right, there he is, Winston Churchill, right there. See him, folks? Slow down a little bit, John. See him? Oh,
Right there he is.
There he is.
okay, then there's Nelson Mandela, South African Embassy. All right.
They're waving at each other.
Dag nabbit, cherry blossoms.
Night view of the cherry blossoms. $30-day pass for a Capital bike is $20. But I don't think those are e-bikes. Look at all that trash. The Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool is the largest of many reflecting pools in Washington, D.C. This was built around 1922 to 1923, and it's reduced vehicular traffic and promotes pedestrian and recreational use. It's 2,029 feet long, 167 feet wide, and holds about 6,750,000 gallons of water. That's a lot of water. There are 87 steps from the reflecting pool to the main chamber, with an additional 58 steps from the plaza to where the memorial chamber is. You made it! The Lincoln Memorial is 99 feet tall, with the statue being 19 feet high, which originally it was supposed to be 10 feet, but they changed it to 19 feet. It weighs 175 tons. It's like he's looking at you. Gorgeous. The statue took 4 years to complete, and it had to be shipped in 28 pieces.
So it's the wall of names, I call it the wall of names. Now the wall here.
Sandra, was you telling a story about your husband being in Vietnam?
Right. He was in Vietnam for a year and came back. Looked like he was poor as a rattlesnake. Had no color. He had orange color about him. He said they'd been spraying over there and said,
Was it the Agent Orange?
They had no water.
Oh.
They had no water to wash it off, and they would have to wait till it rained. When they got a monsoon, they would all suds up with soap and stand out in the rain.
Well, then it's too late. It already got you pores in your skin.
Well, yeah.
Did he pass away due to Agent Orange?
Agent Orange.
I'm so sorry. But how long were y'all married before you went into the military?
We got married March the 26th, and he left for Vietnam April 1st.
Oh.
You didn't have much of a
honeymoon. No, but he wouldn't go unless we got married. And between Mama and me, we got the whole wedding together in those just few days.
Wow.
But, yeah, and it ended up being a pretty wedding, but you know.
Well, thank you for your sacrifices
but he had
too.
to leave, you know, right then, and it was sad for a whole year, you know. But his thing was, he said, "I know that somebody will snatch you up out of my hands if I go off and we're not married."
So he made to make sure he
That
got
was sweet.
So that's.
Capitol building and the monument.
Yeah, with the Christ child.
There are 36 columns, one for each state that was in the Union at the time of Lincoln's death. They are 44 feet tall. The columns in the exterior walls are slightly inclined inward to compensate for perspective distorting that may make it look like it was asymmetrical. There were way too many people up at the statue to take it all in, but I read that Lincoln's second inaugural address and the Gettysburg Address is inscribed somewhere around there.
I've walked so much today, I feel like somebody cut my legs off, sewed them on backwards.
So we just got back to the room. It's 10:35. We've had a long day, and I got in 12,825 steps. Tomorrow we're supposed to go to Arlington Cemetery, and I think we're going to see some more national monuments, but we're going to play it by ear. Don't know exactly what all we're going to do. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day. Bye.